welcome back to another tier list. And what are we tier listing up? A Blood Bowl 2. It's the final one. Hopefully, I think we pray. With me, as always, for the fourth and final one, praying is Syndanas. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Syndanas, and I hope to fucking see you again.
Yeah, well, obviously, like I said in the first video, we're going to try to do a Blood Bowl 3 as well, but yeah, hopefully this is the last one of the Blood Bowl 2s.
I hope to inform all of you, it will not be as quick of an upload to actually play Blood Bowl 3, so...
Oh yeah, I mean...
But for those of you who watched, I bought Blood Bowl 3 in the prior recording, so I'll get some games in, we'll play, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, so you'll be ready.
Yeah, soon.
Alright, well, going into the exciting final episode, we have our starting team, the Ogres! The Ogres. Now...
Yeah.
Alright, so the Ogres are a very simple team because they only have 2 players. I'm going to describe the OK team player first. So the Ogres are 140,000 cost, 5 movement, 5 strength, 2 agility, and 9 armor value, and you get 6 of them. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, that's 5 more than you get on the human team. And but with the caveat,
also 5 more mega traits.
Yeah, the caveat with this is you think you knew Bonehead when you had that one ogre? No. So essentially, if you do have 6 ogres, which why in God's name would you have 6 ogres at your starting point? If you have 6 ogres, that means every move you do, you have a 1 in 6 chance of it failing because of Bonehead, which means with the 6 ogres, you are likely to fail at least once on one of your Boneheads. And there will be
every turn, by the way.
Yeah, every turn, and it will become pretty real where you're gonna have multiple Boneheads a turn. It will happen, and it will suck.
You will lose games because of it.
But hey, you get 6 of them, right? With 5 strength, you know.
Yeah, dude.
If only the other positional in the team is fairly competent, but no, you got a Nobbler. So what a Nobbler is, it's other names in other games as well, is you get 20,000 cost, you get 5 movement, 1 strength, which means a 3 strength will 3 dice this character immediately. Mostly because of stunty and twitchy, but it's a 3 dice if you attack them, which is what? You get 3 agility and then 5 armor value. If you don't know what 5 armor value means, it means you have a 72% chance to break armor when you attack a Nobbler with your 3 dice, with your 3 strength character. You get agility as your normals, and then their skills are dodge, right stuff, which means they can be thrown, sidestep, which is a very actually useful ability, and most of the time if you have agility access, you would be picking up sidestep, because essentially means you can dictate where your character moves after a block is done at them. It's a very useful ability. And then you have stunty and twitchy. So essentially, yes, the Nobblers can move wherever they want with stunty, twitchy, and dodge. You're right, they can. Yeah, just don't make sure, and they're decent for marking. That's it. That's all they're good for. I mean, they're going to be carrying the ball probably on this team too, which is just disgusting. Like, geez, poor Nobbler. It's like, oh, pick me. I'm the target you want to hit. It's like, yeah, get that Nobbler. He's the ball. We found the ball.
What the fuck is that SPP doing holding the ball?
Yeah, so yeah, they're SPP farms. So yeah, that's the Ogre team in general.
I play as an Ogre in every one of my starting games.
Very unique, very fun, but ultimately a D tier. Probably, honestly, bottom of D tier, to be honest.
It's bottom of D tier, maybe even F tier. Like it's it's debatably F. It's bad.
Yeah, where would you? I mean, what are your thoughts on the old Ogres team?
Oh, I think that SPPs are really. And so when you're fighting against orcs, you just get a lot of orcs. Ogres, you just get a lot of it. No, I have a tangent slightly. It's like 2 seconds. I have played a game against ogres where I succeeded on every tackle in the game, every turn, except for 2 across the entire game. And I got 0 SPP that game. You want to tell me how angry I was on a 10?
Yeah, I mean,
it was a 10.
That's very possible to happen, and that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, it's really fucking fun.
Mm. Yeah, and then I mean, the ogres aren't gonna like break any records scoring touchdowns, so
No,
you can't.
you can ghetto it, and they can get a few funny, but in general, you're throwing the Noblar trash.
Yeah, easily can. It's hard to even gain SPP with this team, which is a really big downfall. And even when they gain SPP, all your normals as ogres are just strength. So what's the point?
No, like they do get better because they get Mighty Blow Pylon, and they start killing people. But like the team is bad.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, team is bad. We'll go on to a not bad team. We'll go on to the orcs. Orcs are very interesting because they have they're a little more bashy than the humans. That's what they're defined as. But they have a lot of positionals that make them fairly unique. So just to give you the rundown, they have linemen, which is the normal 50k cost. Instead of the human linemen, though, they traded one of their movement for 9 armor value. So they're more tanky. Still with normal general access, though. Then you have the goblins, which is just the goblins, the normal goblins that you have on the goblins, which is actually an interesting dynamic to have because with 6 movement, 2 strength, 3 agility, and 7 armor value, with only agility as normals, but you get the right stuff, dodge and stunty, and right stuff is interesting with this team because they do have a troll that can throw your goblins, which is always fun. They're useful to have as a ball carrier. So honestly, and marking. So goblins are not. Maybe have a goblin or two on this team. It makes them more dynamic. Then you have the thrower, which is 70k cost, 5 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, and 8 armor value, and you get general and passing access, and you get pass and sure hands. And I want to brief this team is a lot stronger than the newer versions of Blood Bowl, just because for some reason they decided, why don't all the orcs have animosity since they're so aggressive? So every orc has animosity in the later versions, including Blood Bowl 3. But in this team, it doesn't. So actually, it's useful to have a thrower. It's not that bad. It's completely trash in newer versions, but it's not that bad here. You get the Black Orcs, renamed as Big Un Blockers in the normal versions. For 80,000 cost, you get 4 movement, 4 strength, 2 agility, and 9 armor value. They're your linemen, and they're useful to have for good old punching. And the Blitzers is the next positional, and man, this is quite the essay for the Orc team. That's why I said it's interesting because there's so many dynamic players. You have the Blitzers, which are 80k cost, and I think I forget what it was according to, but the cost efficiency wise, the Orc Blitzer is the best, most cost efficient piece by cost to its stats, and that's because it has 6 movement, 3 strength, 3 armor value, or 3 agility, and 9 armor value with general and strength access, and you get blocked. So 80,000 for all those stats, it ain't too bad. It ain't too bad. The Blitzer is a great piece and is the backbone of this team. The next is the Troll. Some people take up a Troll, some don't. It always depends. Honestly, if you want to run Troll, I think you should add some Goblins too. It gives it a little flavor, a little dynamic passing action. But also, it's very viable that people do not pick up a Troll or a Goblin, and they usually just go with the Orcs. But the Troll is 4 movement, 5 strength, 1 agility, and 9 armor value with normal strength access. But they have really stupid, which we explained in the Nurgle video. It essentially means you need to roll 4+, unless to do any action, unless someone is standing next to you. So really stupid, a bad nega trait. But overall, this Orc team is pretty good. It's a lot of balance, and even though they're like flexing into durability, like more durability, more punch, they can do the other things to a certain degree. So honestly, in my opinion, the Orcs are like around here in S. But I would like to hear Sin's opinion.
I'm super with the S tier placement for orcs. Top of A, bottom of S type of situation. I want to say a couple things of note. There are 2 schools of thought about orcs and their way they team build in Blood Bowl 2. There is the old school way, that is to say, you don't build the troll, you don't build any goblins, and you just play orcs. And you have the the thrower's the one that has sure hands, right?
Yes.
Or is it the other one? Yeah. So you pick up one thrower because you want sure hands, and he's your ball. You talked about it a little bit. The Blitzer's very important. The Biggins, dude. The Borks are so good.
Yeah. Oh no,
The
yeah.
Borks are so good.
Yeah, I pointed out that there's two playstyles where you just have the orcs, or you can go troll and flex on the troll and goblin. It adds a different dynamic.
I lean way into the old school thought. The old school thought is more consistent. The new school thought is very fucking. It's very key jangle. I'm 7 years old. Let me play Blood Bowl, Uncle Sin, and I'm like, I don't know, play orcs or something. Here's a troll. Like, oh, I threw a goblin. Oh. Fuck goblins, bro. That little fucking snot rag out of my face.
Alright, well,
That's all I gotta say. Bottom of S, top of A.
Yeah, orcs.
Accurate placement.
A very solid team. Alright, we're gonna...
Super solid.
Yep, we're gonna... So, it's actually been a while since we've had, like, any... So, it's probably been since, like, the first and, like, beginning of second episode. Look at our top 5 right here. You got Dwarf, Chaos, High Elf, Chaos Dwarf, and Elven Union. There hasn't been a single one that's touched these recent teams.
No, there's like, honestly, like, Lizardmen and Orcs just don't, they can't compare to the top 5.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, winning.
But that is all gonna change because the next team we have is the Skaven. And
I want to place it before we talk about it.
You want to...
Just be real.
Okay, alright.
It's SS.
It's SSS, yep.
It's above the Dwarves by a long margin.
Yep.
It's super fucking good.
Yeah,
it's super fucking good.
Yeah, so Skaven and the Wood Elves are like a tier of their own, essentially.
Rats.
The rats.
Rats and rat bastards.
Yeah, they're a tier above, and this is half of that tier above. So, just getting into the characters, we got the normal lineman, which is 50,000 cost, and it's the normal human lineman with the general access and their same abilities, but your armor value is now speed with movement access, which is very handy to have. Means these players are quite useful to have move around on the pitch. The next is the thrower, which is also a good character to have, especially for a team like this, the way they're built. Thrower gives them pass and sure hands and passing access with the same stats as the normal lineman. And then we go into the next piece of shit, I mean positional. We have the gutter runners. Gutter runners, which for 80k is absurd.
The best unit in Blood Bowl?
Yeah.
Arguably?
Yeah,
80k.
Arguably the best unit in Blood Bowl is only 80,000 cost, which is absurd. So, first attribute, 9 movement, which is 2 strength, 4 agility, which, you know, if he had 9 movement, why not just give him the agility to be useful too? And then he's 7 armor value. And then he has general and agility access, which, why does he also have general access? Well, you can give him Blodge for just cuz. And they start out with dodge. And also, thing about the Skaven teams, they also can get, on their doubles, they get a mutation, which is an interesting dynamic. Most of the time. So, yeah, your gutter runners can have 2 heads, which makes them untackleable. So these units are crazy and a huge reason why the Skaven are in SS tier and right now our number 1 team. The next is the Storm Vermin, which are just human blitzers, which isn't a bad thing. You get 2 of them.
Hey,
you know,
those are great.
That's a good thing to have, but that
also, they have mutation access.
And they have mutation access, but they are
crazy. Get the fuck out of here.
They are essentially just human blitzers. Then you have the Rat Ogre, which is the exact. I think it is. It does fuck. I think it's the same exact thing as. No. It's not the same thing as the Minotaur because it has prehensile tail instead of the blitzing one, horns. It has prehensile tail instead of horns, and that's what it differentiates between itself and the Minotaur. Which is very useful. It's nice. Tail is very good trait to have in Blood Bowl 2. And essentially, just to go over, if you don't remember, its stats are 6 movement, 5 strength, 2 agility, and 8 armor value. So a very useful piece to have. You always probably will have a Rat Ogre. And for how good these positionals are, I mean, sometimes you don't have to. For how good these positional values are, they're actually really cheap. So Skaven, a really good team out of the box, good team late.
Super cheap, really good. Rat lives don't matter. It's play some rats.
Yeah.
Win you some games. Play some rats.
Yeah, if you want to win some games, you play some rats. So, any thoughts, Sid?
Underrated unit. That thrower, dude. That thrower is a
no. The thrower is like, I don't think a single thrower is more important than the Skaven thrower.
Yeah, it's super underrated. It's a sturdy guy. He's got great ability to to get the ball, offensively moving, like just super solid. Easy SS. We already ranked it. Like, it's fucked up. Gutter runners are racist. I love it.
Yep. So yeah, SS Skaven are pretty dang good.
Skaven really good. One of the winningest teams in Blood Bowl.
All right, so the next team we will be talking about is the Undead, which we explained a lot in our Necromantic, which is why it's also prudent to probably just put them right next to Necromantic, because the teams are very comparable. The biggest difference, and what we talked about then, is skeletons over zombies. It is real.
Goddamn Skelebros.
5 movement is it. You know, you don't think it's only 1 move. It's not gonna make that big a deal. 1 movement plus the thick skull, it makes a big deal of difference. All right, so you should always, like Sin said last video, you should always get all your linemen as skeletons, but you have the 1 flex zombie, the little zombie guy. You know, he's chilling.
You have a zombie for, you know, racial diversity, just so no one can call you racist. And, you know, also kick, but foul players, stuff like that.
Yeah, so,
it's really important to talk about the mummy, because that is the big selling point that Undead use.
Yeah, I just want to go over the other ones first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Skeleton, like we said, is 5327. We already went over the zombies and the ghouls, but instead, for 2 ghouls, you get 4 of them in this team, which is, you know, good to have.
Huge buff.
Yeah, it's good to have. You get 2 whites, which we explained in the last video, which is the 6338 regeneration and block, general strength access, and then there's the mummy, which now you can talk about the mummy.
Go over its stats first, I guess.
Oh, sure, yeah. 120,000.
It's different from the last one, so.
Yeah, 120,000 cost, only 3 movement, so it's not the same as Khemri, it's less movement. 5 strength, 1 agility, and 9 armor value for 1 strength. However, their skills, 5 strength, their skills are regeneration and mighty blow. That's right, no negatrait. That is
mighty blow.
That is, yeah, they have mighty blow and regeneration, and they have no negatrait.
That's huge, bro.
Yeah.
Not only no negatrait, they start with a positive. Really fucking good.
Yeah, so
Mummies are crazy.
Mummies are great, and with them and whites, you can stand up to any, you know, bashy team, which is why Undead is considered one of the better teams to go up against the higher tier Chaos Dwarves, and Chaos teams. And plus, you have regeneration on all your players. Undead, a really solid team. Yeah, I really like Undead, and also they handle the TV value creep, which happens a lot of on a lot of teams, especially elves. But they handle it better than Necromantic, which is also another good advantage that Undead have, which is why they're placed slightly above Necromantic.
They just also need less level ups to be good.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. There's like apparently something is attempting to murder me in my apartment. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Any other thoughts on the Undead?
Yeah, just like put an F in front of Undead in the graphic and Fun Dead.
Oh, Fun Dead? Yeah, it's fun to play. Actually, probably, surprisingly, on Blood Bowl 3 is probably my favorite team. Because they're called Shambling Undead.
One of the most
then.
popular teams in Blood Bowl.
Yeah, they're probably my favorite team to play in Blood Bowl 3. They're fun. Just because dwarves are so obnoxious in Blood Bowl 3.
I did not know there were this many teams in Blood Bowl 3.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's 16 now, because they added 4 through DLC.
Hey! Wait, what?
The downloadable content.
Fuck, I gotta go buy those?
And you don't have to. I mean, the 4 teams are Wood Elf, Underworld Denizens, Lizardmen, which probably you would want Lizardmen, but and Undead.
I'm probably gonna buy everything. Shit. Go.
But yeah, that's it for Undead. Unless you have any other thoughts, then that's probably it for Undead.
No, it's like we already talked about it a lot.
And Necromantic.
Rank it and spank it. It is just better than the Necromantic, but it's not enough better to get it over Dark Elf hurdle or the S tier. So.
Yep, that's fair enough for me. The next team was Underworld Denizens. So, looking at the Underworld Denizens roster, you have 12 Underworld Goblins, which have a movement of 6, strength of 2, agility of 3, and armor value of 7. And then you have the Skaven Linemen that have 50k cost for 7 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, and 7 armor value. And they come with, all these players come with the mutation access. The Skaven come with general. But what is unique to this team is that
the Skaven have animosity, which essentially means that they don't like playing with their goblin counterparts. They do not play nicely with them. The sandbox is full. The sandbox is Skaven only, according to the Skaven. So yeah, that's a common theme for this team, is that a lot of them have quick mutation access, but the animosity does hurt their viability a little. Then you have the Skaven Thrower, which is the same as the Skaven Thrower for the actual team Skaven. Same stats, but you have mutation access. Then you have the Skaven Blitzer, which is the same as the Skaven Blitzer. And you get 2 of all these, but you also have mutation access. And then you get a Warpstone Troll, which is just your troll, but it has mutation access. So,
worth noting, they have mutation access anyway.
Yes. They do? Oh.
Yeah. Rats, sir.
Yeah. The rats. Well, no, and then the goblins, as we said before, they usually come with right stuff and dodgy stunty. So this team in general is a kind of a lower-ish tier team, at least in Blood Bowl 2. Like, they're not, like, awful. Like, I'd probably put them in the B by Norse.
I would as well, yeah. Like, hardcore, I would put them in B. Because they're, like, a little bit better than, like, lizards and... Not lizard men, but, like, Kislev, which are formerly Slanesh. Not Slanesh, shit, whatever.
Probably above Norse, because I think they have more viability than Norse, actually.
In a playoff setting, yeah, they have a lot of potential. If you grow, like, an Underworld team, it can be really cool. Animosity can fuck you a little bit, but there's plenty of teams that fuck you, so...
Yeah, so what's your general thoughts on Underworld Denizens?
I think they're like a very balanced team. I think they're not a winning team, but they're not a losing team either. Like, it's hard to really state that, like, just how amazingly average this team is, despite having, you know, Skaven Blitzers, which are very good, and like a Warpstone Troll, which is also pretty okay. They're pretty average, so good for them.
Yeah, good for them. And also, I will say, because I have mentioned Blood Bowl 3 a few times, significantly better at Blood Bowl 3. Because they have the addition of Snotlings, which obviously are bad in this game, but they come with a new trait that allows them to take the pitch while not taking a spot on the pitch. So you can have 12 to 13 men on the field with your Snotlings, or Noblar in this case. Yeah, it makes the team a little better, a little more well-rounded. Also, they changed it so you now get gutter runners on the Underworld Denizens, which...
Oh God, rest, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they become a strong team and a very highly underrated team. And they...
You know what team I want to play in Blood Bowl 3 really bad when it comes out?
What team?
The team we're going to talk about next.
Oh. I actually know the leaks for that, and Vampire isn't coming. So.
Oh, it's not coming.
Spoiler alert! Yeah, it's not coming.
Like ever?
Maybe not ever, because
that's tough. Because like vampires in 2020 are so fucking real.
I know the next 7 teams have been leaked, or not 7, but there's been 4 teams or 5 teams already, and the next 2 or 3 have been leaked already. They're goblins and halflings.
Oh, come on, dude! Why those dog shit ass teams? Vampires are actually cool.
Yeah, so anyway, we already got started. Here are the vampires. And the vampires are super simple in this time around because there's only 2 positionals. One is one is
well, there's 1 positional and 1 lineman.
Yeah, true. So you got the Thrall for 40k cost. You get 6 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, and 7 armor value. And you have general on your normals rolls at a fairly serviceable lineman, especially for 40k. That's not bad.
Dog, these are some of my favorite linemen in the game.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. And then you got the stars, the men themselves. You get god dang 6 of them. The vampires, and for the low price of 110k cost, you get 6 movement, 4 strength, 4 agility, and 8 armor value. And you got gas normals. You got the general agility strength normals. You're gassing.
Yeah, you gotta tech all the vampires into their various stuff.
And their skills are hypnotic gaze and regeneration. And then they have another skill.
Regeneration, hypnotic gaze, which no one understands except for like the 3 people who actually play vampires. and then the Accursed One.
Yeah, you want to talk to them about the Accursed One?
Yeah, so Bloodlust is pretty much a 1 in 6 that you will either at the start, like when you activate the player, it's like a 1 in 6 that you will injure a player next to you, or you will run off the pitch and end your turn.
Yeah, and it has to be a thrall.
Yeah, it has to be a thrall, but you have a shit ton of them. So basically, they go into a bloodlust. They have to eat something, and they eat their thrall because it's illegal for them to eat other players. It's horrific, and it can lose you games. I have had a game lost because I bloodlusted on the final turn on the winning touchdown.
Yeah, you literally can't. It's like you have the thrall are like the parents, and the vampires are the rabid dogs on a loose leash, and they're going, "Roar!" And you're just like, "Oh, calm down, dog, please."
Jesus Christ, they're like Rottweilers pulling into like a toddler.
Yeah, prone to biting.
Oh no!
They got foam
It's
in the
tough.
mouth. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, Cujo ass dog.
Yeah, so.
No, vampires are, I think, personally, like a B tier team where they can do stuff. They're not like a C tier team in the sense that vampires can and regularly do make playoffs, and like Amazonians and Kids Love just don't.
I'm kind of like in the same place I put Underworlds.
I like them less than Norse, but I think that's because Norse.
Well, also, I feel like it's either going to be high C or I think actually high C is most appropriate, to be honest, because I actually think they are a step below B, to be honest.
I think they're just under Norse, but they're so far above Kislev that like it matters.
Actually, no, Kislev is the best team ever, so
no,
it's
not.
It's pretty close. And also, the Blitzers have gas normals too, so like, you know.
How's your long legs working out there, Chief?
Would you? Oh, and also I want to make that correction because it was bugging me. In a previous episode, you thought it was a reroll on the long legs. No, it's just a +1. So that's how it's. So that's how fucking. That's how they get ya. That's how they get ya. It's just a +1, so you're still acting like agility 3 because a leap is an agility -1. Oh.
Trash.
Yeah, I love that team.
Yeah, and yet somehow I'm supposed to, I have a 6'4", 4'8" character. You're like, no, dude, it's definitely not, the Blitzers.
You're the Blitzers, man.
That shouldn't be.
Alright, fine.
Hell yeah.
But
the bottom of B.
Having 3 in C makes it look so much more girthy.
No, man, C doesn't need any more girth.
Alright.
Half the guys can't even find the C.
Alright, so we're done with vampires, ready to move on?
All right, move on.
Time for the main event. So we said there was going to be a top 3 in SS where there's those teams are just at a different level. And my god, this team is on that different level. We got the Wood Elves.
This shit is the potentially only SSS team.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of debatable just because how cost efficient.
Skaven, really.
It's cost efficient. How Skaven are so cost efficient that it is debatable between them and Skaven. But it is the gosh darn Wood Elves, man. So
these are the only 2 teams that ever win the Cabal League.
All right, so just to give you the roster, and I'm gonna take pauses just to let people take a deep breath into how absurd this is. Because the linemen, are you kidding me? So for 70k cost, you get 7 movement, 3 strength, 4 agility, and 7 armor value with general and agility access. Do you know how many teams would kill to have a star player with that stat line?
You know what's crazy with that stat line? That is just an elf.
Yeah, but it's also an elf with more movement, and it has agility access.
All elves have agility access.
Yeah, but 7 movement, dog. That's
1 more movement than a standard elf. That's all I'm saying. It's not that crazy. It's an elf.
You feel the 1 movement, baby. That's the 6 to 7. If you're at 6, you're just a human. You're a human lineman.
Listen, man. No elf moves at 6. So.
That's not true. They're the only move that moves at 7.
No, the elf linemen move. Only the delf linemen move in 6, I think.
No, it's
I'm pretty
every
sure-
it's
I'm pretty sure
every
high
other.
elves-
No, what elves are the only ones that have movement 7? I'm because Elven Union are cheaper, but they have the movement and the armor value minus. Dark elves have the armor value 8, but they have the movement 6, and so do high elves. Also have movement 6.
I thought they had movement 7.
No, this is the only team that has movement 7. That's why I'm making a big deal.
What about
out
pro
of this.
elves? Where are they? Where do they go?
That's why I said they're cheaper, so they're 60k instead of the 70k, but they're 6 movement value,
Well-
movement allowance, and their 7 armor value.
Even then, though, you're still AG4. Like,
Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, what else are the only movement 7 linemen?
I don't think 7's a huge like difference maker.
You feel it, man. All right, anyway, moving on. We have the catcher that is for 90k cost. You get 8 movement, 2 strength, 4 agility, and 7 armor value. General and agility access, and they get catch, dodge, and sprint, which is a very great amount of skills, honestly, for an 8 movement player. Oof, that is and you get 4 of them, which is awesome. The thrower, which is actually just more of a standard thrower, the most, but don't let that fool you. That makes a team run. It's great to have a thrower on this team. 90k
No,
cost.
this team does not buy throwers, dog.
Yeah, but it's maybe.
Yeah, like everyone on the team is AG4 except for the.
Oh
fucking
yeah,
big
you're
man.
right. This isn't Blood Bowl 3. Yeah, there's really no point. You're right. You're right. We didn't differentiate the passing and agility stat yet. 7 movement allowance, 3 strength, 4 agility, and 7 armor value with gap, normals, and pass. Then you can talk about the War Dancer.
Oh man, welcome to like potentially the best or second best unit in the game, depending how you feel about gutter runners. They cost 120k, so they're a grip. They have 8 movement, 3 strength, 4 agility, 7 armor value. They have a starting skill of lodge and leap, and they have general and agility access. They are disgusting. They will win you every game. If you leave a single gap in your formations, they're just gonna leap into your shit with lodge, dislodge the ball, pick it up, and leave. Like, they're gross. War Dancers are, when leveled up correctly, devastating to teams. And they're, again, movement 8, so they're just everywhere. They're everywhere. It's tough. What do you feel about that?
Oh, War Dancers? Yeah, I mean, like you said, easily either first or second best unit in the game.
I tend to like War Dancers more than Gutter Runners, but that's because I think War Dancers double effectiveness as like an offensive piece and an offensive piece, if that makes sense.
It's
Like
easily-
offensive, like pull the ball in, and offensive, knock your lights out. Like,
off rip lodge with 8 movement is just absurd.
Yeah. Also, you know, four AG leaps.
Yeah, 4 AG leaps. I mean, the 4, that's what it makes elves so crazy, right? You have all these crazy stats, and yet, in the end of the day, you're still 4 AG, which is just... Yeah, everything you can do, I can do better.
Goddamn knife ears.
Alright, and then the
Lionel
last...
Ariel's going on.
And then the last one, which I argue isn't a waste of space, a lot of people do, is the Tree Man, which is for 120,000 cost, which is a decent amount. You get 2 movement, 6 strength, 1 agility, and 10 armor value with strength is enormous, and all the treeman stats that you get like the halfling team. And I think they're great at marking, so I would, if you have the money, I would take a treeman if you can.
It's worth noting the tree is very effective in the most important matchup in the game, and that's why a lot of people buy it just later on. They don't start with it.
Oh yeah, obviously
they buy it later.
don't start with it because it's not as useful in the start, but tree's great.
The
for
tree
mark.
is really good against rats.
The rats.
So you like, yeah. So you buy it when you're in playoffs and stuff, and you kill a bunch of rats with it.
Yeah, stomp on.
But
some
otherwise,
rats.
that's why people argue the tree is not that good. If you're not like on champ ladder, tree has a lot of problems. On champ ladder, that tree is the reason why this is probably the best team. Like, because it's a favorable thing into the second best team. Like, that's crazy. So, you know, tree, we didn't really mention it. It sometimes can't move.
I think we mentioned it for halflings.
Yeah, we mentioned it for halflings, but it's way more important here that like it's an immovable piece. Like it, even if it can move, it has 2 movement. It's not going anywhere. So that tree is really just, are you in good hands? It's very like you got to know what you're doing.
That's why I said it's like the biggest use it has is for marking and then stomping.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a great marking piece to be able to let more of your players move around the pitch more freely.
Strength 6, there's a bunch of fucking rats trying to like figure it out. But yeah, that's Blood Bowl 2.
Yeah. Well,
How do you feel about this list overall? How do you feel about it?
I think it's a there were some disagreements, which is common for anyone in part of this community. Everyone will have their own opinion on this. But I think it's actually one of the better lists overall I've seen. It's pretty, especially for like how we state it. Like just a brief overview. F means it's putrid. D means it's putrid but fun.
Yes.
C means it's okay, but I wouldn't use it competitively. B is where you can actually get some competitive use out of it, and they're actually fun rosters. And then you go into A, and A and S, which are actually teams that could be competitive, especially in the higher epsilons and S that actually are competitive teams. And then
Yeah,
you
it's
have
worth noting that every year humans make it really far. So like anything in A or above is a perfectly valid team for like grinding champ ladder.
yeah, and then you have like SS, which are like the 3 best teams.
And I don't play any of them because I hate all of them. Go Lizardmen. Go Orcs. Go Necromantic. Give me my dog.
Give me my dog. Give me my white with hands.
Dude, please, god damn it, bro. My wife with hands. I miss him.
I'll shoot you the same
miss
question. What do you think about the list?
If I had to like make any change, I think I would really, really like to demonstrate another tier between D and F and just put don't play. Like DNP CD. Like did not play coach decision. I can't state how bad halflings are is what I'm getting at here. They're really bad.
Yeah, but they have
Because like the
half-price
difference
Master
between
Chef,
A
man.
and S is not all that much, to be honest with you. It's really just like, are you busted enough to carry a worse player, right?
Yeah.
The difference between D and F is actually like goblins. If you're a first-time player who's never played Blood Bowl in your life, the goblin team is gonna win 100 times over the halfling team. If you're a player that has played 1,000 hours of Blood Bowl, the goblin team is going to win 100 fucking times over the halfling team. At no point is a halfling team favorable against anyone else ever. Like, it's stupid. I hate them. Ugh. Apologies.
One last
wanna bang us
halfling
out?
rant. Yeah. Thank you for being on here. Your presence is always welcomed and very fun to have. So I would like to end it on this. There are other stuff in the works. I'm gonna try to get a Blood Bowl 3 tier list at least sometime in September or October. Then we got a couple new exciting things I want to share with you guys, and some of it's already been recorded. So I just have to get my lazy ass into the editing room.
OnlyFans coming real soon.
Yeah, so take care, everyone, and I hope to see you again shortly.